I used to cry to my ex-girlfriend. Like actually cry about my problems, my fears and all that stuff. And society told me that this was okay, this was good, that this would make me more attractive, that women want vulnerability. It's complete bullshit. And it destroyed our relationship. So I'm 110 kilos at this point, hiding in hoodies, feeling sorry for myself. And every single day I'm coming home and just dumping all my emotional garbage on this poor girl. Work stress, body image issues, fears about the future, everything. And she's sitting there listening, saying all the right things. Thank you for sharing with me. And I'm so proud of you for opening up. But I could see it in her eyes, man. That sparkle was just fading, disappearing, day by day. Every therapist, every self-help guru, every relationship expert, they all told me the same thing. Be vulnerable. Share your emotions. Women want authenticity. So I kept doing it. I kept sharing more and more. Childhood trauma, relationship with my parents, deepest fears about failure. And the relationship kept getting worse until one day she looks at me and says, I feel like I'm dating my little brother. My little brother. Not my boyfriend, not my partner. My little brother. Now she hit me like a truck because that's exactly what I'd become. Her emotional burden instead of her partner. And here's what I learned the hard way. Women don't want to see you break down. They want to see you break through. They don't want your problems. They just want your solutions. And I know this goes against everything society tells you about being vulnerable. But think about it like this. Attraction is like a bank account. Every time you show up strong, every time that you show leadership, you solve problems, you lead with confidence, you make deposits. Every time you emotionally vomit on her, need her to fix you, show up as the problem instead of the solution, you make withdrawals. And most men are making withdrawals every single day and wondering why they're emotionally bankrupt. The vulnerability movement is like a Trojan horse designed to weaken men. They roll up offering this beautiful gift called emotional intelligence, but hidden inside is a weapon that destroys your authentic masculine self. I watched it happen in my own relationship, month by month. Month 1, thank you for being so open with me. Month 3, shorter responses when I started sharing struggles. Month 6, she changed the subject when I brought up emotions. Month 9, you're being too intense. Month 12, I need space. It was like watching a slow motion car crash. The more vulnerable I became, the more distant she became. And here's the thing, and the research actually proves this. Studies show that when men express vulnerability in relationships, attraction decreases. When men constantly share emotional struggles, women lose respect. But nobody talks about this because it just doesn't fit the narrative. And look, if you're watching this thinking, shit, I'm doing this exact same thing right now, and you want to turn this around before you lose her completely, I work with men who are serious about becoming the attractive, respected partner their woman actually wants. The link below if you want to see where we're a fit, but only if you're ready to stop being the emotional burden and start being the leader. But here's what you need to do instead. Firstly, process privately. Instead of coming home saying, I had a terrible day, let me tell you about all my problems. I started journaling, going for runs, working through my emotions before I walked through the door. Then I'd come home as the man who handled his day, not the man who was defeated by it. Secondly, be selective with sharing vulnerability. Because vulnerability is like a nuclear weapon, incredibly powerful, but you better know when and where to use it. Share it with people who've proven they can handle your trust. Third, always be solution focused. Never bring a problem without bringing a solution. If you're struggling with work, don't just dump the stress. Say, I'm handling this, I got this. Here's my plan. Show her you're the kind of man who faces problems, not the guy who runs from them. I turned myself from a lion into a lost puppy. From someone that she looked up to into someone she had to look after. The relationship still ended, but I learned something that changed everything about how I approach relationships now. The next woman I attracted, she respected me from day one. Because I showed up as a man who had his shit together, not a man who needed her to fix him. Don't let society turn you into an emotional roadkill. The vulnerability vultures are circling, waiting to pick apart what's left of your masculine authority. Now, if you want to reclaim that masculine essence and build relationships based on respect instead of pity, again, the link's below. We'll figure out exactly how society has been weakening you, and we'll build a plan to make you strong again. But I'm only working with men who are ready to reject the lies and embrace what's actually worked. Hit subscribe if you're done being society's emotional experiment. And let me know in the comments, what made you realize you'd been weakened by this vulnerability lie? Let me know. I read all the comments, and I'll give you my honest truth. I'll tell you the truth that no one wants to tell you, and probably you don't want to hear. Again, hit subscribe if this is resonating. Share it with a friend who needs to see this. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.